What? What was the play? We got 20 on the play clock. What's the
I said fire to YRL.
What? Forget it. We're just checking it. We're just checking. What?
Trip right,
What?
to YRL.
Time out. Time out. We got to play.
You never listen to me.
Damn it, Brian. What the hell's the play?
We always fail. Oh, we want shotgun, wide goal, draw 7. Let's go.
Did you just... Are you quoting me an Anchor Bar menu? What are you doing?
Oh, we taking orders? I'll take 30 wings medium.
Time out.
Wow. This kid needs to learn how to work in the NFL.
Oh, that was phenomenal. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Brian Dable, Josh Allen here to give you the postgame. Buffalo Bills moved their record to 8-3 with a victory.
I was swallowing chips at a relatively aggressive pace. They weren't really chewed all that much.
Hint of lime for the win. Evan Anderson, hint of lime for the win.
Woo!
Phenomenal. Yeah, guys, number one out of the gate, thank you for joining us for our postgame and for our play-by-play today. As Paul gets situated and everything, if you're joining us over on Sportscast, we'd like to thank you for joining us for the play-by-play of the game. We had a heck of a time. Buffalo Bills with a 20-3 victory over the Denver Broncos. A very tough defense.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
Out of the gate, we talked about it like a couple minutes ago. Some of the naysayers, Allen didn't even throw for 300 or 200. Mm-hmm. Hey, they won. They rushed for over 200 and something yards. We'll get all the statistics and all that stuff for you as well. Dable is never leaving the booth again. Beat Lightning coming in. Let's keep this shit moving. John Roberts. I want Tostitos and beer. Chris Stratton. You know I do. Ronald Enix, 8-3, baby. 8-3. 11 games into the...
I know.
11 games. They're 8-3.
I know.
This
is Murderer's Row, though. This is Murderer's Row.
Murderer's Row. We're going to talk about all of that, but essentially, second thing out of the gate we want to talk about in the description of this video. Upon conclusion of the video, we're going to remind you throughout as well our charitable contribution that we're making to Brian Moorman's Punt Foundation. We do want you guys. We have some sweet Bills merch we want to give you guys. However, you got to enter. It's $5 a box. We're selling boxes for the last 4 games of the year. A lot of people have been just doing, just donating if they could. I mean, if you have the means, I understand. They don't, a lot of people have been donating $100, saying, give me the maximum amount of boxes for all 4 games.
Yep.
We'd love to donate to this charity, and thank you very much for that. You guys drunk? No, Daniel, we're not drunk. No. We're drinking Vernors.
Basically, we were drinking Bud Light before, but isn't that just about the same?
It's water. This has more alcohol content than that.
There we go. All right.
Excellent game for the Buffalo Bills.
We are excited to let you guys know that the Bills are playing Thursday, which is Thanksgiving, right?
Yes.
So Mario's going to be bringing you the post game for that. And then that following Saturday, we're going to drive around in the car, record some content.
Yes, we're actually going to get back into the vehicle November 30th. We're going to drive around, and we're going to have an official Sunday drive that day because the Bills won't have a game.
No Bills.
So we're going to have our Sunday drive.
Yep.
We're also going to do a couple other episodes mixed in there. We're going to have a little treat for you as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to have all of that stuff for you guys during that week. So we're going to back in the car. I can't wait. Mikey Mike, 8-3, boys.
8-3.
Drunk on victory. Yes, Daniel Garies. Oh, I thought that was Sprite. LOL. Evan Anderson, yes. If anything else, we do not drink conventional things here.
No, not often. Not often.
G-Rock, since Jerry Hughes retired the pass rush, has been amazing. I mean, imagine beating the Cowboys to be 9-3.
Yeah, amazing. Crazy thought, right?
So, obviously, the turnover being the first thing. We'll talk about that. We'll get right back to the game in a second. But the turnover being huge because the Bills have to play in 4 days.
Right. It was nice that they could kind of phone in the last couple drives.
It was nice to rest some guys up, see what's going on. However, due to how they defeated the Miami Dolphins, we said, okay, it's the Dolphins. Okay, they're having trouble. You come in against a very tough defense, drop 20 on them.
Yep.
Some drives stalled, some drives were tough here and there, and we understand that. So now 4 days away. Is your offense clicking to the point that it's like, okay?
Here's the thing. I like Dable in the box a lot better than I like Dable on the sidelines. Can I just answer the question that way? The game is managed much better.
you put so much pressure initially on the defense to make their decision on what front and what defense they're in,
Right.
which helps Allen.
Yeah.
And I love it because a lot of times he's snapping the ball with 20 seconds, 18 seconds left. He's still in his headset. Now, we don't have it confirmed. Like we said this before, but Allen said, listen, he's up in there, he's talking to me and all this other stuff. That's great. And we love that.
And the team will never confirm nor deny the amount of communication.
Why would you give New England that thing?
Right, yeah.
Yes, if you're watching our video, this is a post game for the Buffalo Bills versus the Denver Broncos. The Buffalo Bills win 20-3. Be sure to hit that like button because, like we said during the broadcast, if you hit the like button, it throws the thing out to more Bills fans as well, as far as content. People are looking for Bills content on YouTube. And the main thing that we want that is because we're running this charitable thing. We want to run it before the end of the season. We want to try to raise $2,000 before the end of the season. So if it kicks out to more people, we're able to get more people maybe come into
come into raise money for the PUNT Foundation.
Exactly. So that's what we're trying to do. We thank you guys for that. Scott Blakely, great game, guys.
Let's hit the box score real quick.
Yes, talk to me.
So if we're going to talk about highlights for the Bills, I don't think we need to go any further than Cortland Sutton, 1 reception on 8 targets. That's not saying that Kyle Allen's a bad quarterback. I'm not going to talk about Kyle Allen negatively in that respect at all. I'm sorry, Brandon Allen, excuse me. Kyle Allen's quarterback. So many Allens nowadays. Brandon Allen, excuse me. I'm not going to say that Brandon Allen was the problem, although he did only complete 10 passes all day long. 10 for 25 for 82 yards. That is a Andy Dalton-esque stat line.
Ooh.
That's Andy Dalton-esque.
What would you say it was again?
10 for 25 for 82 yards.
Oh my God, 82 yards?
Well, and Cortland Sutton was 1 reception on 8 targets, and that was Trey all day long. Anytime they tried to force feed the ball to Cortland Sutton, a turnover.
So he had 9
very
completions
possible.
for 55 yards the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yep, that's right. Exactly right. Cole Beasley, 9 targets on the day, 6 receptions for 76 yards. Really, really important in the first half and the beginning part of the third quarter, but obviously, the Bills kind of cruise control a little bit, and we're able to phone in, kind of the rest of the remaining drives, which can be a point of frustration for a lot of fans, right? But at the same token, you don't want to give a ton of film to a team that you're playing in 4 days, right?
Yeah,
because
not
you're not going to have a ton of time to install stuff.
Well, you've given them 10 games of film up to this point. So what you have to do as a team is what you've probably been doing all along, because just to let you guys know, one of the things that we do know that's very confirmed because it's been talked about so much, the quality control department for every team, not just the Bills, right? So the quality control department, what they're doing is they're scouting next week's game the week that they're planning for Denver. So the week that they were planning all for Denver, the quality control department was planning for Dallas.
Right.
And then next week they're going to be planning for, this week while they go travel to Dallas, the quality control is all scouting Baltimore.
Right.
So they already have those things, a lot of those things ahead of time in the quality control that they're going on. So they already have a game plan in place, hopefully. Obviously, it is a huge turnaround, though, but it's so much better playing at home prior to going there than to have to play away and then go away again.
Yep.
So just a lot of chaos and mayhem that goes on.
Yeah, playing back-to-back road games and one of them being on a Thursday would be a little bit of a challenge, but Buffalo kind of nice that, they don't really have that. They didn't really have that problem.
A couple of things from the chat coming in. Summit XBL. How about Singletary? A lot of calls coming in for Oliver, Milano, and Shaq Lawson.
Yeah,
getting
Shaq
those
Lawson
contract
had a big day.
sacks.
Yeah, Shaq Lawson had a big day.
John Marlowe, Feliciano for the Pro Bowl, please.
Matt Henry says, I'm in the mood where I don't wash my Bills gear because I just have to wear it on Thursday.
What'd you get on it? Anything on it?
No. Just as long as you don't throw up on yourself with excitement. You can recycle a jersey. Normally, you're not wearing a jersey bareback, right? Normally, you got a T-shirt on underneath. You could survive. A jersey could survive a couple days.
Denver had 134 total yards today.
Yeah, they didn't go anywhere. Philip Lindsay, leading rusher on the team, 57 yards on 13 attempts, which is a 4.4 yards per carry average.
But after a while,
But you couldn't run the ball because they got behind so far by the third quarter that running the ball wasn't really an option. They were effective on the ground. They averaged 5 yards a carry, but I think Buffalo was really willing to kind of punt, that and make them run the ball on them. I think that they were okay with that. What?
Tom Galati.
Yeah.
F. Jarvis Landry. He just likes throwing those in there.
Yeah, that's right.
Foster was a great Scott Blakely. Foster was a great addition today, and Milano.
We'll see what happens with Foster, man.
Do we want to go with the injuries first? Or do we want to go with the guys that played very, very well?
Why don't we talk about injuries real quick? Injuries. Yeah, because that's a quick conversation.
Ty Nsekhe week to week.
Yep.
Mario and Paul, what's up, guys? Tom Talks, good to see you, buddy. So we talk about Robert Foster. You think it's a pulled hamstring. The way he was, grimacing and pulling at it, it just seemed like it was bad. You talk about Mitch Morris. Initial was a hand, didn't come back. Line, because they've had to do that all year in the preseason and the training camp. They were able to function. Didn't really miss a beat.
Nope.
Running for over 200 yards. You got Feliciano. I mean, played amazing in that spot. And then you had Long. You didn't hear much about the line today because they've had to
Absolutely.
shuffle.
Mike Trotter says our O-line depth is saving us right now. And Apex 00 says, let's talk Cody Ford. He held his own today. Cody Ford did hold his own today against Von Miller.
He did. I didn't hear Von Miller very much today.
Von looked like he was playing the Jerry Hughes line to success, which was, I'm just going to try and beat you around the edge. And Ford was okay to let him just get there.
A couple times, a little scary, though.
But it required Josh Allen to step up in the pocket, and Josh really wasn't afraid to do that this week. Week 2, week 3, Josh is trying to run around Von Miller. Now he's starting to step up into the pocket and starting to make more positive quarterback movements like that. It's good to see. That's the kind of progression that you want to see from your quarterback. Is you're not making it up as much. You're trying to step up. And a lot of times, even when he scrambled outside the pocket, his first move was to step up. Yeah. And then he'd had to back out of it.
So he's starting to get more comfortable with the line itself. Even when Morris went down, he seemed in that rhythm of the game. Even though he was 15 to 25, under 200 yards passing, you didn't need him to do anything spectacular. And that's fine. We got a couple of comments coming in. John Roberts, such a nice change. Snap to snap. It's so funny. Do we see anything better than 10-6 still? The gauntlet's coming. I mean, we're going to talk about the gauntlet as well. But there's a comment just before that. Bills fan 7883. Was Lee Smith bet a push? Was it Lee Smith bet a push? He dressed but was basically inactive. We roasted Paul at halftime. If you guys want to go back and watch the live stream at halftime, we roasted Paul. And some of those were pretty nice.
Yeah, there was some funny ones in there.
Shout out to Frank Gore. Young King comes in.
And Devin Singletary. First 100-yard. Is that his first 100-yard rushing game as a Bill?
It is.
All right. Congratulations, Devin Singletary.
Losing season is impossible now.
That's true. Hey, that's right. That's right. Not that we should think that way.
No 50 for Brown.
Yeah. No. Hey, you know what? Oh, well.
Still predicting 11-5. Carlos Major.
Mikey Mike says Paul has to wear his Bartman costume on Friday's stream now. There's unintentional.
Oh boy.
It was an unintentional Bartmaning. Unintentional.
Unintentional Bartman. It's so great to see because.
Carmitos asks, "What's the gauntlet?" Let's talk about that
because they flashed a graphic during the season. Paul had talked about this and he mentioned it before. All right, you got a lot of these teams that not very good at the beginning of the season. The graphic said that they had one of the weakest schedules that they played initially in the season, but 15 and 55 were the combined records of the teams that they beat, and then the next 4 games it's 26 and 16 are the teams that they have to play. So they're playing Baltimore, they're playing Dallas, they're playing New England again. So the teams that are coming up, really Pittsburgh and the Jets are 2 teams where you're like, we think what's going to happen?
Right.
So if the Pittsburgh team that shows up to play Cleveland shows up against the Bills, they'll get killed.
Right.
But we've seen Pittsburgh flash brilliance this year with some of their play, even though they've been decimated by injuries and whatnot. But the Jet game, it might be a little tough now because they just put a whooping on Oakland.
They whooped them big time.
That game, you start talking about these really tough teams as far as Dallas, Baltimore, and New England. It's just going to be real tough sledding for the Buffalo Bills. I think a lot of those games will be close. But you know what? The greatest part about what has happened so far for the Buffalo Bills is their games have been close going. They've all been close.
Yeah.
So they have situational awareness.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I take out of it that's pretty good.
Sure. And I mean, you take a look at the games that you're really worried about. You're worried about Dallas. You're worried about the Ravens. You are worried about the Steelers. You do have the Jets in there. You have the Patriots after that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have a stretch of 5 games that are going to be really, really, really nasty and really start to test this team. And I think they got away with allowing a weaker offense to be weak in an area that you knew you could shut them down. And you didn't expect Brandon Allen to go out there and light the world on fire. I mean, the Broncos hadn't had over 170 yards passing since week 4, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, this is not an air attack offense. It was if you could stop the run game, you'll be able to stop them. They only passed for they didn't sniff 90 yards today in passing. But that's a combination of putting Levi Wallace in situations where he can be effective. The defense was aggressive, and you saw them get burned by the run a few times when they were aggressive, but I think they were willing to do that.
Yeah, it seemed like they were running a lot of base sets because they knew the pass couldn't hurt them. But you did see Allen, as inexperienced as he was, the Denver Allen. What's his name? Brandon Allen.
Yep.
You saw Brandon Allen. He was always looking towards Zoe's side. Because when they were in that base 4-3, Zoe's on the field. You don't have the nickel corner in there. He is liable in the pass game. Well, I mean, let's just call it what it is. It's not that we're talking down upon him. It's just at this point in his career, he's not very good in pass coverage, where Milano and Edmonds happen to excel in that. And Milano and Edmonds going sideline to sideline. More so, Milano play lights out today.
I am very worried about the Robert Foster injury. Matt Henry, 92 and Sportscaster, brings it up. You finally got to see Robert Foster utilized to get the ball in his hands early, right? And boy, he just moves, doesn't he?
He's so fast.
He's so quick. Nobody's catching him. And Beasley was outstanding. Foster is fine. From the life of John Foster.
But Pete Swizzy says, I'm so sick of penalties killing scoring drives, turning TDs into field goals. Which, I mean, that's one thing you got to deal with this team. Can they get a hold of it? Yes, they can get a hold of it.
Right.
I mean, certain penalties happen for certain reasons. Like if a left tackle has a hold on a defender that's going to kill my quarterback, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's fine. You take.
I'll take that one 10 times out of 10. But he's right. A lot of these drives where Bills are starting to generate momentum and they're starting to get the ball moving, and then they just what happens? Field goal.
Right. Well, and that's what was so frustrating at the beginning of the game because, Buffalo was moving the football relatively effectively and you walk away with 6 points. You're still a touchdown away from losing the game at that point, right?
Yeah.
And yes, they ate up a ton of clock.
That first drive
was almost the whole quarter.
It was 9 minutes.
Yeah, it was a massive drive. But with that being said, it was a struggle at times because like Denver, after they scored the field goal, Buffalo came out, and let's see how many plays they ran after Denver scored that field goal. Buffalo 6 plays and out 2 minutes.
Ooh.
What?
Kristen, I'll get back to that, but Kristen brings a phenomenal point. How beautiful would it be if the Buffalo Bills kicked the Patriots
tails
in the AFC Championship this year? So we keep the 4 wins in a row record. Buffalo Bills winning 4 AFC Championship games in a row is the record.
Hey, that's right.
Pats are at 3, so that's a great storyline. That's a phenomenal storyline. I love that.
That would be great. I mean, mind you, when you take a look at the wild card as it played out, they flashed the graphic on the CBS broadcast.
Yep.
You take a look, half the teams,
they're 6-6 now.
Right, and half the teams that are in the hunt, Buffalo's played. Now, mind you, Baltimore's winning their division right now. They'll likely win their division.
Yes.
Right? So you don't have to worry about Baltimore.
Houston is tough, though.
Houston's a tough one, right? Cleveland, you've already lost to. They're in the hunt.
Yeah.
Right? So if you take a look at the teams, there's some that the Bills play. The Steelers are right there. The Bills really have an opportunity to separate themselves with that Steelers game, but you got to get past the Cowboys first. I understand it's an NFC game, so from the wild card's perspective, losing the Dallas game doesn't hurt you in the wild card as far as tiebreakers go, but a loss is a loss. You'd rather not have them.
Oh, true.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it counts in a variety of ways. So if you lose to an NFC team, if you're talking about levels of losing to teams, you lose to an NFC team, you lose to an AFC team, if you lose to a division, whoa. You know what I mean? If you lose a division game, it's because it's an AFC and a division rival game. So we just had a great comment from Bills fans. It's 70 plays and over 400 yards on a really good top 5 Denver defense. That's impressive. Those penalties have to stop, though. I think everyone will be in agreement that those penalties have to be done.
Well, and everybody that had been clamoring, just run the ball, raise your hand if you were among that group.
You got crucified for that, though.
I know.
You got crucified.
But everybody that kept saying, the Bills need to run the football to be effective, you got your wish today, right? You got your wish. The Bills, as far as overall team offense on the ground, let's see here. Singletary was 106. Let's see here. Rushing first downs. The Bills had 13 rushing first downs, 8 passing first downs. Total plays, they ran 73 total plays.
I know they had.
That's a massive number of plays. I don't know if you guys really
46.
understand that. Yeah, Denver only ran 46 plays. The average is actually about 55. So most teams in the NFL run between 55 and 60 plays. Buffalo drops 73 plays today. They were at 5.8 yards per play too, with as many plays as they ran. 5.8 yards per play. Rushing 244 on the ground. 47 rushing attempts. They rushed the ball more than the Broncos had plays to run. Because the Bills ran the ball 47 times.
They had 8 first downs passing.
Right.
Denver only had 9 total first downs.
Right.
So revenge game for Beasley this week. Does it factor into emotion, or do emotions get in the way? Tom Galati. Great. That's an excellent point. I love that Joe Nelson goes, Eddie has 4 sacks now at Oliver.
He sure does.
I've never heard him called Eddie, though.
Eddie.
That's awesome. Good old Eddie. Eddie. Beasley, Jim Tripp, did Beasley shake off the ankle injury? He did. He had a touchdown pass. So Bill scored a touchdown in the third quarter. How about that one?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but Tom Galati says revenge game for Beasley. Does it factor, or do his emotions get in the way? He's been a really reserved guy for the most part, because there have been plays this season where he's been wide open.
Right.
And he's wide open, and you never hear about him talk about it in postgame.
Right.
He's wide open. You never hear about him saying anything. He's never really, going out of his way to say this, that, and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll pretty much keep to himself. I think a lot of the media will try to blow it up. Hey, his first game back to Dallas. What are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. And he'll be very reserved, just the way that McDermott and Bean like their players. Yeah. But I think he's going to, if he catches a contested pass for a first down, like a third down play, you could see him just pumping his fist and going nuts.
Mm-hmm.
He will.
Yeah. What was the shot of Dable in the box instead of an early third down play? Was it just for Paul? Yeah, they were showing Dable instead of actually showing the Josh Allen rush for a first down. Remember they were talking about Dable on the broadcast? CBS, those idiots. I hate CBS so much. But with that being said, one thing that I saw Peace Wizzy mention is with Robert Foster's injury, does this activate Duke Williams? Short week, don't have time. If you're healthy, you're playing, right? The Bills lose Morris.
Is Duke a special teams guy, though? I think they activate Sear Neal before Duke.
Sear Neal's got a concussion, so I don't.
Well, he's still the protocol. I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, on a short week with Neal and
well,
Duke
you make
and
McKenzie
Foster.
play. You make McKenzie play those snaps because McKenzie played special teams for you.
McKenzie can play special teams. He can do that, but it's very. Oh man, what do you do? I'm not betting you for Duke this week because I know he's playing. Tom Talk. Shaq is playing for a contract, so is Phil. It'll be interesting to see what Buffalo does. When we saw Shaq Lawson during the broadcast play defensive tackle, beat the guard like he wasn't even there.
Yep.
An amazing play for Shaq. Beating up on a team that let's just put it. Let's say what it is. Denver offense isn't very good.
Right.
Okay. But this is a team that hung 20 on the Minnesota Vikings, and then the wheels just fell off. Yep. But Shaq, which is something that we only touched the surface of, playing a defensive tackle role. If you're sold on Oliver and you're sold on Jordan Phillips, Shaq, giving Stars money to Shaq at defensive tackle, where he can play both inside and out, is very tempting.
Well, especially since you have Harry coming back next season, right?
Yeah.
So you've really got a wealth of riches.
Yeah.
At the defensive tackle position. And Shaq really fits into that. Shaq, because we see the Bills, they're not afraid to drop down Lorenzo down into, an edge rusher role, right?
Yes.
So we see the Bills being not afraid to just put guys down there to rush. So with that being said, could I see them re-signing Shaq? I mean, they denied his option, right? Because they could have picked up his fifth-year option at the beginning of the season. They chose not to. It was going to pay him about $9 million, $10 million.
Well, maybe it was motivation for the kid, too.
Well, I think that was part of the problem, right? They talked about Shaq not being motivated last season, so I think that might have been part of the issue there. But Shaq Lawson has been a man on fire, this whole season. He's been great. And he's playing for a contract. Now, the problem is, does he think he's going to be able to get 4 for 60
36?
Somewhere? No, he's thinking bigger than that. Look at the production on the limited snap count, right? Because teams are going to pay him based on his production this year,
but they're going to
say, well, if he played 80% of snaps, this is what his production would have
been. Sign Shaq, let go Murphy. Mike Trotter comes in.
I think Murphy's...
I'm partial to Murphy.
Yeah, I don't know about Murphy anymore.
If you go back to the Friday film room, the first play that we opened up with, I said, because I've been talking about it for 2 weeks now, was the play that Murphy He ended up getting blocked down inside. He ended up taking out the pulling guard and he ended up creating a pile up for Starr to come around and Edmonds to make the tackle. So I think Murphy does a lot of little things well that don't show up in the stat sheet. So I think he may be a guy that they want to hang on to. But Shaq is very interesting. Give him a 2-year deal, 3-year deal. But the thing is, though, the other teams see his limited play. So they're betting, can you play 70, 80%?
Right.
Well, if you play 78%, are you going to go harder at 78%?
Right.
So they're seeing him be effective in a role that's a 35, 34% guy.
And G-Rock calls it out. Lorenzo looks slow today. Well, they played a lot of base 4-3 today, which the Bills haven't been playing a lot of 4-3. So let's just break that down. 4 defensive linemen, 3 true linebackers. The Bills have been playing a lot of nickel coverage, which is where you're taking one of those linebackers out and replacing with a corner or a safety. So previously, Ciaran Neal or Kevin Johnson, or they're dropping Jordan Poyer down and... Yeah, or they're, so they've been playing a lot of nickel coverage. And the problem with nickel coverage is it exposes you a little bit against the run because you're getting a lighter guy in there because you're looking at trying to cover something that likely is going to be a pass. The Bills played a lot of base 4-3 today, and Lorenzo was on the field a lot. And there were times where I didn't think he got to his spot quick.
Well, you can expect Dallas to try to exploit that because the Bills haven't showed it quite a bit. You have Ezekiel Elliott now. You got to contend with. Now you're going to run a 4-3 and let Prescott throw for 400 again, which he's prone to do. He's done it twice this year, I think.
Right.
And I think one of the games he lost.
Yep.
So
right.
It depends. What's your poison? Do you want Zeke to beat you, or do you want Dak to beat you?
Right.
You got Amari Cooper on the outside. You got a lot of these weapons. You got Michael Gallup to contend with.
Yep.
So does Kevin Johnson? Do they blitz more? Do they play more? Do they play man? Do they play, or do they blitz more and then play man behind it? Do they play a 4-3? Do they play the nickel? It's very interesting to see. But these are all the questions that Dallas has to ask themselves going into Buffalo because they have shown so many fronts and so many looks. You think that if Cooper's ready, and I don't know the injury report or anything, I'm just speaking off of who's playing. If Cooper's ready, Trey's on him. If you're planning on playing zone, does Michael Gallup scare you running against zone? Because he has been known to put up numbers.
Yeah. I'd be more comfortable with Kevin Johnson on Michael Gallup than Levi Wallace. That's me.
So
That's
playing
me.
man so you think they're going to bring pressure with run blitzes all day? Yeah, that's it. I'd go with that.
Yeah, I think so. Blano Rama says, are Shaq's limited snaps actually helping him this year when he does get in? I think that's one of the reasons why the Bills have such a front, because if you play an up-tempo offense, let's just use the Patriots as an example. A lot of times what happens, it's not the cornerbacks that burn out. It's not the linebackers that burn out. It's that front defensive pass rush that burns out when teams go up-tempo.
Yes.
Buffalo has such a rotation of guys only playing 40, 50% of snaps. You can't burn out that front four because they use a carousel of guys to get in there. So do I think Shaq's snaps being limited are helping him? I don't see a scenario where it's hurting him, right? I think it does help him because the drive to make an impact when he's on the field is there. He can't phone in any plays because he's not getting many plays.
No, he's not. No, that's what makes them go so hard on the plays that they're on the field. So Joe Nelson comes in, smoke is elite. John Patrick comes in with Kroom with question marks. Does he get activated now?
Ooh,
you never know.
That's interesting.
Love Smoke's interviews.
Oh yeah, he's like Leotis McKelvin.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he's like
Cheat Reitz, Tom Galati just blocked a punt. Oh, great. I thought Milano had a fine game today, Buffalo, New Yorker. Yeah, I mean, you think Dallas should trade Deion Sanders for Joe Montana? Binks cat.
Yeah,
he had a couple Thurman Thomas comments in there too, but it's pretty funny actually. Scott Blakely, Dallas, what's everyone think? So he's running the chat now. Scott's running the chat for us.
Oh, that's good. Thanks so much.
Jets win was strong. Yeah, Scott Blakely. It was very strong.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. So as far as injuries go and coming in next week, do you see Kroom active? No, I think Kroom is on the IR for the rest of the season. No. I don't think they're going to activate him.
Hendog brought up a great point. It says, did today show that anyone can be a threat with the wide receiver core that you have?
I was thrilled seeing
EP, brother.
Yep, that's the EP system.
That's
but
the EP.
Here's what I'm curious about, and I'm excited on the film room to go back to it because the John Brown touchdown pass, right?
Yes.
They had the exact same formation the play before that. Allen checked out of it and into a run play that actually went for a couple-yard loss.
Okay.
So the very next play, it makes me wonder if Dable went, no. You checked out of that. You shouldn't have checked out of it. This is the look we want. John's going to be open. He'll beat him. Go.
But you run a back-to-back play like that? I mean, you think they're going to run the same defense on you that they've been running all? Well, they hadn't been running it all game. That's the thing. That's the thing you're betting on. You're like, okay, what is this, Madden? Like, okay, I'm running a hurry up with the same offense. You're going to run the same defense.
Why not? I'm curious. I'm curious to see what the coverage difference was because Allen checked out of it for a reason.
Oh, we'll watch it. Believe me, we'll watch it. We'll go over that. I'm very curious to see that too. But it was interesting to see him throw that pass. But getting back, we were talking about the EP system. It's the knockoff version that unfortunately Dable's trying to bring over that he learned in New England. It's not predicated on a number one wideout, but it is predicated on. I mean, what did the New England Patriots have for years aside from Randy Moss? Obviously, you had a lot of little number two wide receivers and a stud tight end.
Yeah.
Knox, he's getting there. He's a rookie. He could be a force to be reckoned with in the passing game. We're starting to see that. They're starting to have some plays called for him. But, I mean, we even talked about it prior to this game. With Harris locking down Brown, you got to have other options.
Yeah.
Beasley gets 9 targets now.
Right.
So who do you cover in this offense? So the goal now, I think, for Dable and Allen is, listen, we have to be so cohesive as a unit that, okay, if they shut down one guy, how can we get the ball to our other guys? Can we scheme them open? Can the line hold? And can we get the ball to them? Can Josh make the right read? And what they're doing right now is they're giving him very, very simple concepts, very simple reads. And he's being successful, albeit 15 for 25, but I think 3 passes were just thrown away. So, I mean, he had a heck of a game. The kid had a heck of a game today.
Curious that I have to. I'm just thinking about this right now. So it went in the script. So the script is normally the first 15 to 20 plays for those of you who
you start the game out with what you think you want to test out against their defense.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So you come in with a predetermined set of plays, and that's normally what you run to start the game. They ran 2 pump fake screens. Do you think that's because they're trying to set up for Dallas that the screens are actually going to happen? I'm curious about that because you're coming into a short week, right? So the things you do in that script, you got to be able to execute those on 2 teams, right? There's got to be some stuff that's going to work against Dallas inside that script. There has to be. It's a numbers game because you don't have time to really install a whole bunch from Tuesday to Thursday, right? Because one of those days is going to be you're going to travel anyway. So you really have a limited window here. So are there screen plays that we're going to see against Dallas? Because they pump faked 4 screens today. None of them happened. So is there a screen game against Dallas that we see? Because we haven't seen one in weeks.
Well, 2 things. One, Nate Geary talked about it on WGR. I actually listened to. I was in the car for 15 minutes today. That's all I heard. There's one discussion they had. They say, "Why do you think it's so tough for guys like Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Josh Allen? Why do you think it's so tough for them to run the screen game?" And other guys like Brady, well, when you have mobile quarterbacks, you're not really pinning your ears back and coming hard at the guy. So that being said, if you're not running at 100 miles an hour to try to get to the quarterback that's stationary and you got to be kind of hesitant, when they run a screen, you know something's wrong.
Right.
Okay. Plus, you can't really lose contain or lose your assignment when you're doing that. So that's why it's a little tough to run the screen. I honestly think because of the way he pumped twice and went over the middle, I think that was a play designed to try to get Knox open.
Okay.
But a great point that connects this as well, Dave Walker comes in. He says, do you think that Dallas will be better prepared on defense for us Thursday having to play the Patsies today running the same system?
That's a great point.
We've talked. It's so. I thank you so much because we talk about all the time. Brian Flores came from New England. When the Buffalo Bills had to play New England and then they had to play Miami, you're like, listen, you're going to see a lot of the same concepts that New England runs. And when we did the Friday film room, we saw that. We saw that Flores was running a lot of the same defensive concepts that Belichick runs in New England. That is a great, great point. I mean, if you had to do man for man, comparing players with the system itself,
right?
John Brown's Dorsett, Edelman is Beasley,
right?
At the tight end position,
Nicholas Einhorn.
Who the heck is even their tight end at this point? But then you have a 3-headed monster, not a 2-headed monster with the running backs.
Right.
Sony Michel, Rex Burkhead, and James White. Whereas Singletary kind of plays 2 of those roles. He's like the James White, Sony Michel, and then you got the hammer coming in with Frank Gore. But I think there's a lot of variations, but no one runs that system better than the Patriots.
No
one. And But the key difference that's going to be in that game, and mark my words right now, the key difference going to be in that game is the differences that you have at the quarterback position. Where Brady's up here, 19 years, you're not going to fool him. He knows all the answers and all that stuff. Allen's legs will differentiate how they're going to play that game versus this game, because you can't completely just go man, try to pin your ears back to get Brady, and do that with Allen and expect to live, because he'll run on you.
Right.
He definitely will run on you.
Everyday Flash, this is I think the third time he's mentioned Dez Bryant. I don't think the Bills are looking for another tight end at this point, because I think that's all Dez Bryant is able to do is give you anything under 10 yards. And Lord only knows.
Why, did you see his video when he was working out?
Yeah, he looks slow. He looks slow to me. That's me. That's me.
I'd take him.
Yeah.
How would he be infused?
Foster looked fast until he was injured. Yeah, nobody hobbles quickly Everyday Flash.
To me, you have Dez Bryant on his team and Duke Williams. From a size and, yeah, he's actually bigger. He's actually pretty big. Or he's actually bigger than him. But he's younger. I think he's a little bit faster. He's not as seasoned, but you're not taking a guy that's you foresee. Because him and Dez and Beasley got into it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Didn't they have a little bit of an altercation?
Yeah,
so
did.
I don't know why you would bring that type of friction into your locker room at this point.
Right, and plus
I think they're
Dez's
set with
reputation. They're pretty culture driven, so I just don't
he
see
could
it.
he could be better now. I mean, there's changes that guys take, especially when they get into the Buffalo community and they see how family oriented this whole community is.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll do that, but I just don't see where he would fit into a spot. You know what I mean? He's not the Dez Bryant of like 4 years ago.
No.
4 years ago, I'd take him.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely
now,
not. But
now.
this is also the same Dez that got signed by the Saints and that was on injured reserve a week later. You know, that was just last year. Steve Hampton, is Feliciano also calling the coverage for the line at center, or does Allen take that on when Morris is out? The line was so solid today. The line played really solid, even despite the interchangeable pieces. Well, and this line kind of concerned me a little bit going against Denver, because they have a tendency to want to bring 5 a lot. And 5-on-5 football, it means that every lineman is responsible for one guy. There's no help anywhere.
Yeah, and the thing that happened in the second half was the thing that we were worried about at halftime, was the fact that because Morris was out, you had to move Feliciano over and you had Long. Were they going to try to bring more A-gap blitz, rush the middle basically, more than they did the outside, which they did in the first half, only limiting the Buffalo Bills to 6 points in the first half. In the second half, the Bills score. Then they started bringing more pressure up in the middle. Feliciano was handling it. Long and Spain, they were doing good, but it took away what the Bills wanted to do. The Bills wanted to run up the middle.
Yeah.
So that's where I think they were countering more what the Bills were doing successfully versus taking advantage of an injury.
So,
it was still tough. They still ran well, but it was still a little tough sledding.
Well, and I think that's kind of the one thing that we always kind of, bag on Josh Allen for not going out and lighting a team up through the air. But the truth of the matter is he's such a dangerous weapon on the ground. You have to account for him in either phase of the game. Allen ran for, I think he had 8 official attempts. I think 6 of them were, I'm sorry.
I think 6 of them were called.
I think 5 of them were called.
Maybe 4 if you think about it. Because it was RPO.
Right. I'm
sorry. It's a zone read. It's a zone. There's a difference between run pass option and a zone read.
9 carries for 56 yards, 6.2 yards per attempt, long of 18 for Josh Allen today. So again, he doesn't fit the mold of a typical quarterback, but this is where the NFL is going, right? This is what they want people to do.
Dave Walker.
This is what they want quarterbacks to look like going into the new NFL. The rules are built to vastly protect quarterbacks inside and outside of the pocket. Buffalo knows that, and they're going to take advantage of it if they can.
P. Swizzy comes in, and I'll get to Dave Walker. Dave Walker says, do we know anything about the injuries to Foster and Morse? Initially, we won't, but Wednesday when we do our live stream, we'll have more information, because actually they should have them pretty much what they're going to be doing, because the next day,
right,
obviously. But P. Swizzy says, do we need to steal one of these games against Dallas, Ravens, or the Pats? We just we have to. I just don't know. Or do we have to? I would say this. I think it would create a domino effect of whatever you do, because you have Dallas first, and you have the Ravens, and then 2 weeks later you have the Patriots. If you're able to beat Dallas, that'll give you more confidence for the Ravens game. If you beat Dallas and then beat the Ravens, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. You can't view Pittsburgh as a pushover.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
But I think it'd be a domino effect. If you play against Dallas and you play well against them, but you lose, I still think that helps you going into against the Ravens. But if you get smoked by both Dallas and the Ravens, don't expect that Patriots game to be good at all.
Right.
Shivas Gold says Pittsburgh's overrated. They show these flashes of amazing play.
Sure do.
Like we talked about the Jets being garbage and not playing well either, and they just hung 34 on Oakland,
Right.
who plays tough against other teams as well. So it's really tough to see. Bob Miller's taking the team to Chuck E. Cheese, G-Rock. Jesus. It's so funny. It's so funny.
So, what today do you think is something you could build on for the Dallas game? Because again, short turnaround time. So, what today worked that will work against Dallas? I mean, listen, you ran the ball all day long. You had over 200 yards on the ground today.
I think
Can
it's going
you
to
do
be
that
tough.
against Dallas?
It's going to be tough to attack the edges on Dallas.
Okay.
So that's why you run inside now to try to get Dallas to go inside. So it all works off of each other. Everything always plays off of each other. So if I'm a head coach, you're a head coach. I'm playing your team. I want to run on the outside against your team. I got to try to find ways to get everyone inside on your team. So what do? I run play action up the middle. Maybe I run a fullback dive. You know what I mean? Try to go in. And then I start pulling guys on the outside, which the Bills are prone to do. Now, if I want to run on the inside, and I need you to think I'm going outside, what do? I run a jet sweep. I run off tackle. I run a lot of pop plays to the outside to try to get those guys out of there. I run play action boot, try to get them out of the middle, so I can run up the middle. That's a lot of things you got to. It's a numbers game and it's a chess match. What you want to do. In order for me to do what I want to do, I got to try to get you out of your game. Now, if I need to throw a ball right there, I want to have the short passing game right there. I need to get your linebacker out of there. How do I do that? Do I flare a running back so he has to go get him? Do I put a tight end that crosses his face? Do I have Beasley run or a wide receiver run a seam so he turns his back? What do I have to do to get to that zone?
Right.
And all that stuff, that's what Dable in the offense, that's trying to do. And it seems like, okay, take what's given to you. I think the biggest thing about the last 2 weeks has to be huge is that he's taken what's given to him.
Right. And let's not, I mean, you can talk about the Broncos not being a great team, but the fact of the matter is they have a top 5 defense. They have a top 5 defense.
Who?
The Broncos.
Yeah.
So even though the Bills went out and beat a team that has a losing record, this is normally teams with losing records don't have top 5 defenses because their defense is on the field all damn day, and the Broncos have been able to be effective and be a real problem for teams, right? So you can say that the Bills beat a team they should have beat. Yes, they beat a team with a losing record. You're right. They beat another team with a losing record, and they're going to go play Dallas, who's going to give them everything that they can handle. But, if you take a look at the evolution of this defense and the evolution of this offense in the last 4 games, just take the last 4 games in total, right? You very much see that the rules have changed the last 2 weeks compared to the 2 weeks prior. So this is a tough team to scout right now because you're seeing 3 different teams. You're seeing a team at the end of trying to run what they were trying to run all season. You see the Miami game where they were just rushing the hell out of every quarterback that was playing for Miami that game. And then you come into the Bronco game, and again, you saw a mix where they were playing a lot of base 4-3, which they hadn't done all season. And then they blitzed today, not as much as the Miami game, but more than the 2 weeks prior. So it's an interesting team to try and scout right now because they're doing every week they've changed their approach. Last week, they threw everything that Miami could handle. This week, they didn't have to.
No.
They didn't have to.
So what did they give up to Miami? They give up 14? 14 points to Miami?
I think so.
So you give up 14 points to Miami. One of those was on a kickoff. So you held Miami to 7 points. You held Denver to 3 points. The defense is playing at a spot where I can't remember how many games they've held their opponents offensively. Because you talk about the Jet game, they won 17-16, but the defense...
Oh, Miami they scored...
21?
20. 37-20.
Okay, but if we looked at all those games that are coming up, just scroll up again, I want to see that. So the Jet game, the Patriots game, the Titans game, the Redskins...
and the Broncos.
So 5 out of your 11 games. So half the time you hold your opponent to offensively under 10 points.
Right.
I don't know how many times you're going to lose.
Right.
But the highlight of today that a lot of people were talking about was the Patriots are playing the Cowboys. Number 1 offense versus the number 1 defense.
Yep.
Who's going to fare out?
Yep. And that got mentioned in the chat. That could be a watermark for how this is all going to go. How the rest of the division is going to be able to move through, and what are the actual chances the Bills have to win the division? Because it's not out of the question. You're 2 games behind the Patriots at this point, who still haven't played tonight. Who knows?
Defense wins championships. Tom Gladdy comes in.
That's an old school way of thinking, though.
I think, but what ends up happening? What ends up happening? You talk about
I texted you this stat.
how huge, how hot, how red hot were the Kansas City Chiefs last year?
Oh, same.
Their defense was 30th.
Yeah.
Did they win?
They won enough.
The guy threw for 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, and they couldn't win. They couldn't get past what? The defensive guru of his generation.
Yeah, but Andy Reid. I don't want to go down that road today. I don't want to go.
Paul,
down
did you
that
forget
road today.
last year's Super Bowl already? Yeah,
I
the
also
Rams were
did.
hanging 40 points on everybody, and they scored 3 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What ended up happening?
Okay, so here's to counter Tom Deloney,
here
right?
we
So
go.
this is interesting. So over the last 20 years, the Super Bowl winners have finished 13th overall in the NFL that season in running and rushing the ball, and overall they had a 10th ranked defense. So if you take the Super Bowl winners over the last 20 years, they've been averaging a top 10 defense, and they were ranked 13th in rushing the football.
Okay, top 10 defense, 13th in rushing.
But in passing, it's all over the board, right? So with the rushing, it was pretty clear.
Pass to score, run to win.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Running's kind of old school, isn't it?
It is kind of old school.
Okay.
Losers in the Super Bowl over the last 20 years were 14th in the run and 14th in defense. So, betting man says...
Thanks for proving my point.
Well, the betting man says that if you get to the Super Bowl, you bet on the team that has the higher ranked defense.
True. That's one thing you want to look at. Number 2 is this. They did a statistic as well. Rodgers, Manning, and Breeze prior to, I think it was like last year. I think it was they played a total of 44 seasons. Those 3 quarterbacks played a total of 44 seasons combined.
Right.
They had a total of 10 top 10 defense, or their defenses were in the top 10 times.
Okay.
So out of 44 seasons, 10. Right. Brady. This stat was last year. Brady, out of 18 seasons, had 10 top 10 defenses. The guy wins, and the guy's always going to the bowl.
Yep.
Why do you think that is? It's the defense, man.
Yeah.
It's the defense.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree
Shannon
with
and
you.
Skip below. Alan, but he better be in the box. But if you don't see Dable in the box, Paul mentioned this.
Yeah.
If we play New England, at New England, and he's not in the box, something fishy's going on.
Yep, I'm telling you, because there's a long-standing reputation that headsets stop working at
laser, a laser beam.
So and Dable, having spent time there, would have been the benefit of that problem, right? But if you're up in the box, and Dorsey's been up in the box with him, if you're up in the box, you can't really communicate down, play calls if the headsets stop working. So that would be a fascinating post-game question to be able to ask your offensive coordinator when he's in the box at Gillette. So by the way, you didn't happen to have any headset problems today, did you? That would be very careful.
Please, someone get us a direct
curious.
line to Sal Capaccio so we can tell him to ask that.
Yeah,
when he goes to
right?
the post-game.
That's right.
Actually,
Yeah.
I was listening to opera for some reason for a little while.
Yeah, what was it? Radio signals came through. The NFL's been
Tomlin.
investigating it for years.
It was Tomlin.
Yeah,
It was
they've
Tomlin.
been investigating it for years. Nothing's ever going to come
At some
of it.
point, if headset problems keep happening in New England, can we finally get the NFL to look
No,
into
they've
this?
been looking into it for years, Dave. So that's not it at all.
Dable is in the buffet line during timeouts and commercials.
That's right. I'm telling you, the power of trail mix compels him. You get that guy some Cheetos, calls a much better balanced game. No, it's true. It's true.
Okay,
And
so
you can go back and look at the offense and say, well, they scored 31 against Miami. Dable wasn't in the box. They scored 31. You can look back and say, okay, sure. The points scored, that's fine. But the game overall, if you're watching the game, it's been a better managed game with Dable in the box. It's been a much better managed game. And I don't know what the pressure was. I know Dable started in the box, but Dable being and remaining in the box has completely changed the way that this offense
You get to see more.
moves play to play.
Obviously, you get to see more of the field. You get to see the switches and the changes on the defensive side of the ball and what you're doing. You're running more up tempo. It could be a reason. It could be a way to camouflage the more up tempo that you're doing, because you're running more up tempo. The defense has to show their hand quicker. You're running a lot more spread concepts. That's it happened quicker. He's in his headset until 15 seconds left.
Right.
When they're running those fast-paced plays, he could be up until the snap. So he snaps it at 16 seconds. Dable's in his helmet all the way up until he snaps the ball. You're running wider guys. So all these other things combined are starting to manifest in themselves, and they're starting to help Allen develop and read things a little bit better.
Who was it that just said, I wonder if all the plays are named after food?
Probably.
Yeah, why not?
Omaha Steaks.
That's right. That was Mike Trotter. Yeah. John Marilla, run the cream cheese express. That we're just gonna walk by that one.
Cream cheese.
That one, yeah. There's a couple different ways that can be interpreted. We're just gonna walk by that one. Yeah, John Patrick. Ready for a fight. Says he wasn't in the box last year. Actually, that is incorrect, sir. Brian Dable started in the box. It wasn't until the quarterback carousel started happening. Dable started the season in the box. Nate Peterman.
Not even him up in the box could help.
Nope. That was Dable in the box. Dable actually wanted to be in the box. He didn't come down until even Josh Allen's initial starts. Dable was still in the box. He didn't come down until Derek Anderson started.
He did.
That's what got Dable down on the sideline.
But then again, you're talking about Allen's first ever starts. So he was up in the box. I'd love to go back and check out those plays to see if he was in his helmet the entire time, because that would be great to know. That'd be great to know.
That's fascinating. That's
cake, pies, chicken, and fries. Hut hut. Do Lee Smith and Dable look alike?
Lee Smith did not.
I'd put them both in the box.
Lee Smith did not play very much today.
No, yeah, we'll get the snap counts for you by Wednesday. But did I just hear the GOAT Nathan Peterman?
Yeah, Peter Mania. Never forget. That's right.
Oh,
Week 1.
Week 1. Yeah, Apex.
Well, didn't Derek Carr get pulled today?
He did.
Who got put in? Oh, I'll check.
Oh,
I'll check.
Bye, Felicia.
Let me check that real quick.
Okay, so what do you take away from this game? What do I take away from this game? I take away the fact that they didn't put a lot on film. A lot of the plays they ran today, I've seen them. You've seen them quite a bit. So
I didn't see anything new. The sweep to Foster was the only thing that I could say was really super.
It's another thing that you're putting on tape.
And the touchdown to Beasley was the exact same route that he ran against Miami the week before that he was wide open on. So that wasn't.
Yeah,
new.
I can't
that
wait till the
there.
film room. We do that in the film room. Oh my God, that'll be glorious. Oliver had another sack today. I hope he finally figured out Derek Jeffers. Yes, he did. We talked about Oliver a little bit at the beginning. Put it up next to my Williams jersey. Yeah, I understand. I mean, that was $20, and I've never.
Notice he doesn't hang the Starlet Tulele jersey.
I hang it on my back.
What's wrong with you?
My back. I call it North Dakota.
Mike Glennon comes in relief.
Was he like 6'6" or something?
Glennon? Yeah, he's big. He's a tall guy. Looks like me. I'm not 6'6".
Oh my God, the Peterman jersey. He goes, come on now. That jersey has to be worth less after he signs it. Matthias, did you already answer my PayPal donation question, Mari? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, listen. In the description of this video, I actually put a link to the video that we talk about the charity. Later this evening or tomorrow's probably a better bet. If you go to that video of the charity, the PUNT Foundation that we're trying to raise money for, I'm going to put a pinned comment at the top and in the description of the video. I'm going to put all that stuff in there, and I'm going to have because we're going to put our PayPal account on there, so you guys can donate to there as well. So there's a couple other things like if it's not a personal account versus something else, you got to fill out a bunch of different paperwork for PayPal. So that's what I was doing.
Yep.
So Bill's heating up. Dable developing his own style. Joe Wilson. So Matthias, hopefully, that was the answer to Matthias and everyone else. So we do want to try to raise it. We've raised close to $400 so far this week.
No, over 400.
Over 400. Yep. So what we need from you guys, we need you to buy some boxes. That's basically what it is. You get some nice Bills merch from it. So The boxes are going to be drawn at random. Last 4 games of the year at halftime and at the end of the game. So if you guys want to get some autographed merch or the chance to get some autographed merch and donate to a wonderful charity, we got the platform for you.
Right,
So.
and it's 100% of all proceeds.
Yeah,
it's 100% go to the
100%.
PUNT Foundation.
Okay.
You always
So
have to
you
be
did-
worried about that. Sometimes say, portion of no.
No,
100%.
because we have 100 boxes that we're selling each game, $5 a box, 4
4
games,
games,
$2,000 is going
$2,000.
to the charity. So that's what we're doing.
Joe Nelson asks about Dable developing his own style. I don't know if it's as much Dable developing his own style as his play calling is, one, getting better. It is improving. And 2, do you think perspective is a big difference? Because Allen's perspective is changing every game under quarterback. So do you think it's as much as Dable's style is progressing? Or do you think it's Allen is starting to do some of the little things that make Dable's play calling start to make a bit more sense?
I'm going to flip it on you right now.
Sure.
I'm going to drop a bomb on you.
Oh, great.
And the nation.
Okay.
Okay. The move to the box wasn't to simplify things for Allen.
Okay.
It was to simplify things for Dable.
Ooh. Okay.
Because look at it from this perspective. He goes up, oh, Matthias. Woo! Love what
Thank you,
guys do.
sir.
Thank you so much. Dable was getting close to the hot seat.
Yeah.
Because of a lot of things
Very
that were
much
going
so.
on.
Yeah.
So what you do is, listen, I want you, if you say it's him, if you say it's Allen, I want him up, I want you talking to him to the snap. And then after that, if he changes it, then we know it's him. Because you give him a play and he changes it, and then you both come back to the side and be like, well, I saw this and I saw this. Well, no. I saw it from upstairs. I have a better vantage point than you do. Run what I call.
Right.
If you run what I call, we can win. If you don't run what I call, so you could determine whether or not it's Allen or Dable right away.
Well,
and what happened? They've been successful moving the ball.
Yeah.
So is that Allen or is that Dable?
Right.
So that's what I think. Like you made me laugh because the one line in Any Given Sunday when Pacino's on the sidelines, he goes, "I don't care, fix it." You know what I mean? I think that's McDermott going into Dable after that game and before the Miami and Denver game. You could see him doing that.
So I did have a bet going with Rock Pile Report. Spin 0481 says, what week did Paul say Dable would have been gone by? So here's the deal.
Oh.
I said that I wasn't going to talk about Dable till at least week 6, right? That's what happened. I do have a bet with Rock Pile Report that I made 2 months before the season, that Dable would not start and finish the season as the offensive coordinator. That is looking like a bad move. So that is a Seagram's escape bet.
How many?
Just one Seagram's. Just one. We just got asked if we accept Bitcoin from G-Rock. Actually, funny thing, you can buy Bitcoin through the Cash App, which we do use for getting us donations. So if you have Bitcoin that you bought through the Cash App, cash that out and you can slide that over.
You're right.
to us via
Old-fashioned
donation.
trousers. Yeah. Paul honored his week 6.
Yep, I sure did.
And then got torched for it.
Sure did. Sure did.
That was pretty fun.
If we stay on this path with Allen and Dable the rest of the year, do you think Dable stays OC for next year? At this point, you have no reason to think about doing anything there, right? So if there was a problem, that there was, because McDermott has said there was a game management issue, we got to walk away with some points. Still saw some problems today because you're within striking distance twice and you kicked 2 field goals to start the game, right?
Yes.
And you benefited from
Penalties.
your defense, right? And your defense, and the game benefited from you holding a team to under 150 yards in total offense today.
True.
Right? So those 2 field goals at the beginning of the game, if you're playing the Cowboys, if you're playing the Ravens, can you afford to kick those 2 field goals against those teams versus Denver? I don't think you can. I think you still have to put that ball in the end zone. So as much as we're saying everything looks great, there's still some concerns there that I'm sure McDermott's taking back to Dable, saying, listen, we had 2 drives. One of them was deep into the red zone, right? We walked away with 6 points. We play the Ravens. We don't get away with that.
True. Yeah.
Good talk.
I don't think. No. I was trying to formulate because I was reading in the chat about Dable getting offered head coaching jobs, and I was trying to remember the number. Was it 21 or 22 head coaches in the past 3 seasons that have been hired and fired?
I think it's 22.
So 22. So 22 out of 32 teams over the past 3 seasons. So if there is a head coaching vacancy, and the Buffalo Bills happen to win 12 games this year, 11 or 12 games from 6 the previous year, you can expect Frazier and Dable to get offers. That's all I'm saying. I mean, because those will happen. Whether or not he accepts them or not is another thing. I think Frazier to me, for my money, Frazier should be the guy that gets the head coaching offer somewhere.
Yeah.
Not so much Dable.
Yeah.
Because of the inconsistencies that have happened.
Yeah.
As far as, because it seems like the offense itself doesn't need a guy with the offensive talents of Allen to be successful. Whereas in another system, you know what I mean? You talk about what Greg Roman's doing with Lamar Jackson. It's insane. No, so I was reading all those. That's what I'm saying as far as Dable goes.
Well, Enrico in the Sportscaster chat brings up a great point. I won't trust Dable until we beat a team with a winning record. You haven't played a team with a winning record while Dable's in the box.
How much does this defensive performance, is that you were just talking about? How much does defensive performance camouflage the offensive woes?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is you
were able to run for 200 yards today.
Right.
How much woes did you have?
Right. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know.
So
points are points, Apex says.
Well, and that's true. Points are points. But if the other team is answering back with touchdowns, then points being points is a little bit different.
That is tough.
They spotted you a bunch of possessions at the beginning of the game.
Thursday's Dable's chance. It's been 0 for 81.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. You want hope for the playoffs? Beat Dallas. You even eke out the victory. Don't care. Beat Dallas. Because right now you haven't beat a team with a winning record. So
no.
Even if you eke it out, doesn't matter. Beat Dallas on Thanksgiving.
It's 10-3 Patriots.
So let's say the Cowboys drop to the Patriots, right? Okay. How desperate does that make them to beat the Bills?
I don't think it changes anything.
You don't think it changes?
I don't think it changes the narrative because there's a mystique that follows the Patriots, as you know, that doesn't follow the Bills yet.
Right.
Okay, so you could look at an 8-3 Patriots team and be like, "Oh my God, they're doing it again. They're going on their run." But if you have an 8-3 Bills team, they've never been here before.
When they're going to fall apart?
Exactly.
Well, the difference is that would drop Dallas to 6-5. So the division's slipping out of their hands. Mm-hmm. So if you've got any tricks,
they'll be desperate. Yeah, they're not a 3-8 desperate team. You know what I mean? That you have to, you got to be very careful about each fake punt. But they're in the NFC least for a reason.
Right.
So 9-7 can win that division at this point.
Yep. Let's see here. Although Frazier must love working with this defense. Oh, German Buffalo. Hey, thank you so much, sir. I will say that a Dallas team coming off a Patriots loss scares me a little bit more than a Dallas team coming off a Patriots win.
You think they'll be now momentum is a big thing in the NFL. So you think that,
although double nickel zero, it's WGR, we just call them double nickel zero. Yeah. Although they will tell you momentum does not exist in the world of sports. I respectfully disagree.
You beat the Patriots, you're flying high. You think you can conquer the world. If you lose to the Patriots, now you got your back against the wall.
Yeah,
would you be deflated? Yeah, you could be. Look, like you said, you're 6-4 and you're in first. For crying out loud, you're like, okay, we just got to right the ship against the Bills and whatever. I just think the mentality going against the Bills is still that they haven't beaten anybody.
Right. But Philadelphia is right behind you.
At 5-6. They're oh my God. So if you lose today, you're a game ahead. If you win today, you're 2 games ahead. You don't care about a loss to the Bills.
Right.
Who do they play the week after the Bills?
I have no idea. I'll pull up their schedule.
All right. Deflated, just like Brady's footballs. Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. We needed that.
It's all circular. Life is like a circle.
Depends on how they lose, if they lose.
Ooh.
So if you lose 10-9, throwing everything at the wall, they play the Buffalo Bills and then they play the Bears.
Yeah.
So if you beat the Patriots, you're probably focused on the Bears more than the Bills.
Right, and you don't play the Eagles until week 16.
True.
And that's the last division game you really care about. So.
Derek Jeffords, great point. The Bills are also very hungry to beat a good team.
Yeah, they have to be. You have to start beating football teams with winning records.
So what happened was this.
Otherwise, everybody's going to see it as a layup in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the national media already sees the Bills as a layup. Let's just call it what it is.
Everyone, national media, not 716 media. I'm talking about national media. So you got 3 losses. Okay. Yeah. You lose to the Patriots. Everyone thought you were going to lose. That was like your first litmus test. Okay. Then you play, you beat teams. You were 5-1 by the time you went in to see. You were 5-1 or 6-1?
What? When you went to
when you played the Eagles?
Oh, when you played the Eagles?
I think you're 5-1.
5-1.
So you're 5-1. Everyone's saying you didn't beat anybody. You lost to one team that had a winning record. You're still going to be the whooping boy of the Patriots, blah, 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 and all that stuff. You have a chance to prove it against the Eagles. You don't. Okay. So then you go into a game against a team that's like, well, you know what? This team was projected to be very good. They were the darlings of the offseason, the Cleveland Browns. They're so talented. They have a losing record. You should beat them. You lose to them. Those losses taught this team and fortified this team to be what they are if they beat Dallas.
Yeah.
If they don't beat Dallas, they have not righted the ship.
They're what everybody
You prove
says
everyone's
they are.
point if they don't beat Dallas. If they do beat Dallas, then they're like, listen, we've had this happen to us 3 times now.
Dude,
it's not happening anymore.
Dude, I'm going to eat so much turkey at Thanksgiving watching that football game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to eat so much turkey. We deep fry our turkey.
I know.
It's wonderful.
It was
stuffing balls.
it was
just take some
glorious.
stuffing, some stovetop.
Can you grade HQ awesomeness? Hey, welcome back. I haven't heard HQ
Oh, yeah, it's been a
post
while.
for a while. Yeah.
It's been a while.
See, we remember, it's crazy. It's stupid, the names we all remember. But can you grade Josh Allen for today?
I mean, he didn't miss the Beasley touchdown that he had missed the week before. It really was the exact same route. So he didn't miss that wide open. He bought himself a lot of time. The sack that he took, where the Bills did they kick the field goal? That's where they attempted the second field goal off that sack. There was nothing he could do. He was landlocked in because that pocket collapsed around him.
Prescott hurt. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't really have a problem with the way Josh Allen played today. I think today was a very well managed game for him. Some of the RPO calls I hated. I hated some of his reads on those. I know I call them RPOs. I know they're not always RPOs, but for everybody else, I'm going to refer to them as RPOs. I thought like the one to McKenzie, he tried to pull back and that was the right call, but then he had kept 2 of them that he was just running into a wall. So I didn't love him. I'd say it's a solid B. I think it's a B minus because he tried to throw a couple balls through receivers on crossing routes still. So I'd say it's a solid B minus.
I would say, I don't know, I'd give him a B. Because the 2 words that keep coming to my mind are game manager. He managed the game well.
Yeah.
He had that one errant pass. Yeah, I was just gonna say that too.
What?
Who was the MVP for the game?
Trey White.
The Blood Brothers comes in and says Trey White. So you limit Cortland Sutton, who's their weapon, to 1 catch. You have a pick yourself. So you match the amount of catches that Cortland Sutton had from Allen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but a lot of things have to factor into that. He doesn't lock him down if Milano's not putting pressure at the defensive front, which today with 4, not blitzing, with 4, generated so much pressure in Allen's face. If the Jets fired Adam Gase, would you want him as an OC? I would not want Adam Gase as a OC. I would like them to pluck Jim Bob Cooter.
Oh, I love Jim Bob Cooter.
The running backs coach that is for the New York Jets right now. Like
Yeah, I
if
love Jim
Dable,
Bob.
I'm just saying if Dable leaves, okay. How do you develop continuity? Well, you keep guys together that are working together. Okay.
Right.
Jim Bob Cooter led. Was an offensive coordinator for Detroit that led Stafford to like 3 of the best seasons he ever had.
Right.
Touchdown to interception ratio, completion percentage, and yardage.
But
Jim Bob, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's a very good offensive coordinator.
He is.
A victim of coaching change.
He is.
He's a victim of
But
coaching change.
it's a fraternity. So
It is big
those
time
guys
fraternity.
that if you're in the league, you're going to be in the league.
Right.
You're going to have a job.
Well, and Dave Walker asked, would Jim Bob run the EP system?
He wouldn't.
He would not.
He doesn't run
No,
the
it's
EP
not the
system.
same thing.
Which is because here's the thing. Here's the little caveat and the twist in there.
Is if you let Dable go, there's not many OCs who call the EP system.
No,
so there's
there's
talking major overhaul on the offensive side of football if you let Dable go.
But here's the craziest part. What connects all these dots? Jim Bob Cooter was a victim of a coaching change, so he ended up going to the Jets as a running backs coach. Who was the coach that took over in
Detroit?
Detroit?
What was the head coach or the defensive coordinator from
The Patriots. The Patriots that run the
EP system.
So if Jim Bob Cooter was running the EP system, that is something that Patricia is very familiar with.
Yeah.
He would have kept Cooter. So because Cooter doesn't run that system,
adios. Same reason,
he was
same
out of
reason
there.
why Jim Schwartz was gone after they hired Rex. It was 2 completely different defensive
philosophies. Yeah,
So
there's 3 main offenses. Just to let you guys know that if you're talking at Turkey Day with people, there's 3 main offenses in the NFL. There's Air Coryell, there's the West Coast, and then there's EP. It was kind of like an EP offense, but the Patriots turn it into an EP system,
Right.
which branches. Once guys leave the Patriots, they try to run their own version of it, which is dink and dunk, pass the score, run to win, take what's given to you, and all that other stuff. Air Coryell on West Coast is very. There's different concepts. It's based on a root tree, and then there's a bunch of other things that go on with it. But the short version is that there's 3 offenses in the NFL right now. So when you see offensive coordinators, when you look on Pro Football Reference, they'll actually show the offense that the team runs.
Yeah.
So you can likely guess what kind of players they want to attract, what kind of players they want to sign, and all that other stuff. So.
Well, and I don't
Just
want to
let
say
you
that the EP system is totally exclusive to only the EP system, right? So Dave Walker says,
No, you put
if we
things
change
into
the
it.
offensive philosophy, would it slow Josh Allen's development too much? I think the reason Josh Allen has been slow and late on passes is because he's learning how to navigate the EP system.
There's a reason why only like 3 teams run it.
It's a nasty system.
It is.
It's so complex. You're so dependent on being on the same page as your receivers based on coverages that you see. Brown, Beasley, they're adjusting routes after the snap, right? So they're changing what the route is. And that's why sometimes you'll see Allen, and we complained about Allen. He waits until people are open in order to throw it to him. Yes, sometimes he has to because he's not picking up on what the route is going to be that they're running. So just like an example today, right? So the Trey White pick on Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton runs a dig, right? Runs it short. Brandon Allen throws it 5 yards over his head. He thinks he's running a streak, right? That's an example of what every play is like in the EP system if you wanted Allen to throw the ball where he thought receivers were going, right? That's why he waits until they are open, because then he knows what the receiver is committed to do. It's a nasty, nasty, nasty system, but that's one of the problems with the EP system is that your receivers and your quarterback have to share a brain. And I'm not telling you that they're there yet, but if you change systems, read routes are a constant thing, right? Every system runs read routes, but the EP system is so predicated on them, it's a nasty system to try and learn. So that's that.
So,
That's that.
So yeah, I mean, we're on to Dallas.
Yeah, on to Dallas.
So, yeah, just because things are a little bit different this week, just want to give you guys a preview of this week coming up. Paul and I we're gonna do our Wednesday. Are we doing it Wednesday or Tuesday? Because it's a short week. Are we doing it Tuesday or Wednesday?
Maybe we should do it Tuesday.
Okay, so 10 o'clock live.
We'll have the injury report and stuff by Tuesday.
Oh,
What do we do Tuesday?
What am I gonna do for the? I can't do Friday film room this week.
Why not?
I'm gonna have 2 games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we may have to pause that for this week.
Oh God! If I get a chance to, I won't
Maybe
I won't do a live one.
Maybe I'll record one.
I'll record a quick 10-minute thing just to show you some things from the game if that happens. So, a couple things coming up. Tuesday we'll go live Tuesday night at 10 o'clock to give you the stream for our preview for the Dallas game. Before you start laughing at me, let me get this out.
Yeah,
go ahead then. Fine.
No, two things. I love you guys. I just want to say that. Danger Carlos Danger. Hey Kraft, hire Gase. You won't, you coward. And then Chris, and that's one of the big reasons they chose Josh. He aced the Wonderlick. Nobody has ever been drafted because they did well in the Wonderlick. He doesn't believe me. I think the Wonderlick is a waste of time. Write it on toilet paper, throw it in the toilet afterwards, flush that down as far as you can get it. Who cares about the Wonderlick?
I love how I said that Frank Gore got a 6 on the Wonderlick. And
Don't care. He murders people with his helmet. Don't care.
He takes people's souls. That's what he said.
That's exactly what I said.
So, all right. So, let me get to this lineup for this week so everyone knows it. Tuesday, we're going to do our live feed previewing the Dallas. Wednesday will probably be nothing. Thursday, Joe from Believers Talk will be calling the game. And I'm going to give you the post game on Turkey Day, so I'll be doing that solo.
Yep.
Because Paul is a very busy man. He's in high demand. So.
I got a deep fried turkey, man, and then I got to call the fire department when my house starts burning.
Yes, so he's got to do that. So Thursday, I'm going to be doing the post game for you guys. This Saturday coming up, Paul and I will be in the car again.
Yeah, very
giving
excited.
You guys an old school rendition.
And the off-season edition.
Yeah, the off-season edition. Yeah, all off-season. By the way, if you're new to the channel and you're wondering what drives you and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So we talk. Thanks for riding with us. If you make a comment in the comment section, we say thanks for riding with us. Well, this channel started out with us driving in the car all the time, and all off season. That's all we do.
Yeah.
We release episodes 4 or 5 times a week, and we drive in the car and record them. So any questions, any things you guys want us to hear, or discuss, or talk about, Bills related or other, we're gonna do it. So Saturday we'll be in the car, and then so all next week previewing it. We'll probably do that one live stream, but I'll have stuff for you guys all next week.
So excited.
Yeah, you can't
So
wait.
excited. Angel cream donuts and double doubles, baby.
We're going to Paula's.
That's fine.
We're going to Paula's donuts.
I like Paula's.
We'll just record ourselves going to Paula's.
Yeah, we did.
Should we do an impromptu signing at Paula's?
Oh yeah, an autograph signing.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't want to do that anyway.
Yeah, they don't sell pumpkin spice stuff at Paula's. It's a real donut shop.
In the Friday film room, Paul said he was the Mariano Rivera of the stream.
Yeah.
But I think he was more Kyle Farnsworth. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was not good.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take it.
Oh my God. So, like I said, thank you for joining us on Sportscaster, on the play-by-play, on the post-game. I'm exhausted. I know Paul's exhausted. We got to get out of here. He's got to get home to his family. I got to go downstairs and clean up the mess that I hear, just yelling and chaos.
The carnage downstairs.
The carnage. The 12-car pileup that's on the couch. So, thank you for joining. Enjoy the W, 8-3 on to Dallas. For Paul and Mario, it's #sports. Thanks for riding.
Later, guys.